Have you ever seen or met someone after which the only thing that comes to your mind is how does he or she manage to do all of these things in just 24 hours of a day? So, take any facet of life: travel, fun, stock market, cryptocurrency, job, marketing, engineering, MBA. This guy has done it all. Our guest today over here is Mr. Tauseef Rasul, who has experienced and is daily living his life in between all of these things that I just named. So, a very interesting podcast is awaiting for all of you. If you are someone who has not yet subscribed to our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And without a further ado, let's get started. A very warm welcome to CareerQ, and thank you so much for coming in. So we would like to start this interview by, just first introducing yourself, like who you are and what has been your journey till date, what all you have done.
Yes, well, thank you so much for inviting me. So currently I'm in Hyderabad working at Deloitte as a functional consultant. But my career has started back in 2016 when I passed out from IST Shivpur in mechanical engineering. And then I decided that I want to go into the space of data analytics. I started working at HSBC as a data analyst, worked there for 1.5 years, my first corporate experience. And from there, realized that my knack for business was growing more compared to technology. So, and PwC was actually the best option at that time because the role that I was getting was a combination of both technology and business. So I worked at PwC there as a technology consultant.
Okay.
Then I realized that in order to understand business, I need to have a formal education and pursued MBA for 2 years and then finally landed at Deloitte.
Okay. So, like you said, you studied as a mechanical engineer and then you got a
Yeah,
job as a data analyst. So,
correct.
how did you make this transition? Like, what all did you study when you were in college so that you could land to a job of data analytics? Because generally, we see that, people from non-CS, non-IT backgrounds, they generally face a problem. Everyone wants to land to such jobs, but they do face
Yeah,
a problem. Yeah, so
yeah. To
could
be
guide some.
honest, I would consider myself a bit lucky enough.
Okay.
But the thing is that compared to 2016, 2022 seems to be a very competitive year for freshers because data
Mm-hmm.
analytics was not so saturated at that time. The things that the interviewers would be looking for is the knack of knowledge in mathematics and statistics.
Okay.
So back in class 11 and 12, I have statistics as my additional. So my
Okay.
concepts in statistics were very strong. So my interview, so I had 3 rounds of interview, of which one round was fully around statistics about the
Okay.
different models, regression testing, and all. Here, as a data analyst, coding knowledge was not required, but the logic was important,
Mm-hmm.
and SQL was a necessary tool to learn as a data analyst back at that time. So basically, you need to have a knack of knowledge towards business, understanding of statistics, and a bit of SQL.
So statistics, like they asked you to solve some questions when you were in the interview.
No, 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 no. So, for
Okay.
example, understanding the basic concepts of statistics like mean, median, mode, or normal
Okay, okay.
distribution, or regression testing. What do you mean by
Mhm.
that?
Okay, okay. Acha. So, agar like today, matlab whatever you see in the market, seeing that if someone wants to go for data analytics for a job profile, so what do you think? What all is required? Apart from the maths and stats will be there, but
Yes.
apart from that, what has changed in the recent times that is getting more weightage? If you have anything.
Yes, so I've seen a few of my juniors who moved from non-IT, non-CS background to data
Mhm.
analytics. And
Okay.
for them, I heard that a reputed certification during third
Achha.
year and fourth year, a
Mhm.
reputed certification where it's not just a Udemy or a Coursera free online course where you just end the course and get a certification, but rather a 6 months or a 9 months duration course
Okay.
where you have connection with people who have already worked in the industry. So they have weekend classes and they teach you all those things as a with industry life projects as well as the fundamentals. So that do help.
Okay.
Also, one of the things is that understanding of R and Python. Back at that time, SQL was only required, but now you have to understand R and Python as well. So R, Python, a bit of Excel, and SQL are what the recruiters are looking for.
Okay.
And then if you have any project, maybe the final year project, if you have worked around it, so all those things help you a lot.
Okay, thank you so much. So, guys, here you know what all you need to have or what all you need to acquire when you are in college if you want to land to a data analytics job. Thank you so much. Moving ahead, so when did you decide that now, what actually happened that you decided ki MBA ke taraf, you need to move now?
Yeah, I'll tell you. The thing is that, see, back in my college, I used to be a part of the robotics club, and I was the manual technical head of the club. Okay, so I had to talk to a lot of people, especially the juniors, the first year and second year. From
Right.
there, I realized that communication was one of my key strengths,
Okay.
and also understanding the psychology behind it, the conversations, and how to build relationships. Okay, so and when I joined HSBC, I realized that technology I had interest in, but unlike many people, I was able to relate the business world with the technical world.
Okay.
And then I had a conversation with few of my seniors, and they realized that maybe this is something you are not aware of, you're good at, so you should move towards business. But then I realized that MBA was necessary. I mean, it's a formal education. You might read books a lot and gain knowledge, but a formal education is a formal education. So to sharpen my business knowledge, I thought.
Okay. So, from where did you have your MBA? And like I know actually, so how did you prepare for getting into the
Yes.
MBA? And how much time it took for the preparation? And if you took any coaching, if you could share more on that.
Yeah, well, the only coaching I did take was the course materials and books. I did not have a private coaching, like I did not attend classes. I just enrolled for the 6 months crash course test series where you only for the test. Why do you need test? Because sometimes you need to practice in a confined zone, like that 3 hour period under a lot of pressure, keeping everything in mind. So that for that test was necessary. And for the DIA, so I was preparing for CAT first and foremost. So that CAT was the medium through which I entered into MBA college. And I studied at IMT Ghaziabad with major in marketing. So for CAT preparation, my quant was strong at that time. The only thing I needed to practice was the English part.
Okay.
So there were the course materials, the books that helped me.
Okay. So we can say that, guys, you don't need to waste a lot of money. You just need to know what your strengths and your weakness are. If you want to go with a coaching, you can, but it's not a mandatory thing. Like if you need to crack the CAT exam, you have to go with a coaching line only. So yeah, after that, like you had some professional experience and then you again went for a college life. So how difficult was this transition? Like, did a lot of challenges come your way,
Yes.
or was it smooth enough?
No, to be honest, unlike college, once you start working, you do not read books much. Okay.
Right.
Maybe only you read books for preparation, but in general, you forget the entire reading habit. So
Correct.
as someone who had 2.5 years of experience, going to classes again, waking up that entire 7:30 a.m. to attend the classes was a bit difficult, to be honest. And I've seen the freshers, for the freshers it was quite easy, but there were other batchmates as well who had 3 years, 4 years experience. We faced the same logic. It was difficult to get back to college.
Okay.
But yeah,
So,
but eventually we had to.
yeah. Okay. So when you were in college, like you have the traditional way of campus recruitments, or you need to go in for internship, or because it's just a 2-year journey, right? So you don't get
Yes.
much time to get accustomed to the environment and then spend some time and then put your focus on placements and all. So like immediately you have to start with everything, or you do get some breathing space or something like that?
No, sorry to sorry to say, but you actually do not get any time, especially in the 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
because within the first 6 months you get internship offers. Now the
Okay.
thing is that I studied at IMT Ghaziabad, and they already had a placement committee which takes care of the recruitment process.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to know about the companies that used to come in our campuses, and they would be giving us various job description of the roles that they would offer. We would just prepare for the interviews and go for them. And
Mm-hmm.
it all happened within the span of first 3 months.
Oh God. Okay.
If someone gets a job, so basically 3 to 6 months is a time period when the batch gets placed in any
Mm-hmm.
college, in any B school, not just my B school. The first 6 months are the most hectic one.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Because they have to show your other skills, like you have to take part in clubs and committees to show your
Mm-hmm.
team bonding and leadership skills. Because in MBA college, they, unlike engineering, if you say that, you mentioned that in your CV, that your team member, your leadership skills, the recruiters might accept it. But MBA college, you have to show that in terms
Okay.
of quantity, in terms of numbers and data. So yeah,
Mm.
a lot of time goes there.
Okay. So, so you eventually got placed into Deloitte. Now Deloitte
Yeah,
is
no. I initially got an internship at GEP Worldwide.
okay.
Uh, it's also a consulting firm, and in my final year, I got placed at Deloitte.
Okay. So yeah, when we see about Deloitte, it's one of the big fours, and many people want to get into Deloitte as well. So, is it important to go via the MBA route to get into this, or Deloitte hires freshers, like engineering freshers also. And if you have any idea on what are the actual profiles in which freshers get hired.
Yes, I'm not aware of the fresher part where they hire outside campus.
Okay.
Uh, so even in my back engineering, so the profile that I am currently in is non-tech role.
Mm-hmm.
I have to understand the technology behind it because I have to work with a technical team, but it's not a tech role. It has business requirement more than a tech role because I've done MBA. But prior to that, when I was doing my engineering, some of my batchmates did get placed in Deloitte as a technical role as well.
Okay.
It was via campus placement. But I would say that some of my friends who were not lucky enough or unlucky enough, I'm not going to say that, they were not placed in Deloitte initially, but 1.5 years or 2 years later, with right work experience and knowledge, they did go to Deloitte, few of them.
Okay. So it's
So for
not.
freshers, it might not be possible to go without campus placement, but if you have 2 years, 3 years experience, you can go.
Okay, okay. So it's not really difficult, and MBA is not a mandate. Of course, if you do, you'll get into a higher position, probably, right? And a non-technical role as well. So for all those people who want to get into a because you are from non-CS, non-IT background, and you want to, get into a big force, and you can try and get an MBA. That can help actually. Okay, so yeah, after this, I also know that you are very keen and very, I would say, ambitious in the finance stuff as well. And so, guys, let me tell you that Bhaiya here is really a player in the stock market and is an experienced person who really knows when the market is going up or down, and knows how to make money also. So yeah, if you could share some tips, because I
Yeah.
would like to admit that I have tried this space and I have failed. Like I have lost a lot of money. To be honest, yes, I have.
Yes.
I tried a lot of things. I tried to study also, but nothing went well. So as someone
who knows about this finance thing, how important is it to know about the money thing, and how important it is to know about stock market today?
Well, to be honest, I will say first that stock market is not the only media, because I'll tell you, many people learned about the stock market or cryptocurrency or other real estate during the COVID time, where people had a lot of time in their hands and they want to explore new areas. But I started when people were not talking about back in 2017.
Okay.
So, and my first investment was with 500 rupees with a mutual fund.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that's required is the psychology behind it, because or down, you can never control. But what you can control is that if the market goes down, it doesn't affect your normal life. Now, to how to go about that? Don't invest more than you're ready to lose. That could happen in the initial period. Maybe if you have 10 years experience, which I do not also have, at least a 5 years experience, then you might take a bit risk, but initially take small steps, maybe hardly 2% to 3% of your salary, which not effective. First, for the first 2 years, be in the market, do nothing. Say suppose your salary is say 100 units,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you only invested 2 to 5 units, okay. Now, if the 2 to 5 units, say suppose 5 units goes to zero, it might not affect you because it's just 5% of your entire salary.
Right.
But if it's at 30%, it will affect you. Now, how to move from 5 to 30% depending on your risk appetite and your knowledge. It's not about the technical, like for example, I understand technical knowledge, is technical analysis important. You have to study the chart, you have to study the market, you have to read the news, and many things go. But everything will come to you slowly. It's a psychology and not letting the money but affect you. Like for example, there has been crashes going on, but it should ensure it doesn't affect your relationship with your family or your partner or your friends. The first thing is important psychology. For that, you need to stay in the market for 1.5 to 2 years to understand how the market works with a little amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Then slowly, based on your risk appetite, you move to different financial ways. For example, it could be stock market, it could be mutual fund, or it could be even cryptocurrency. And as you proceed, you you learn a bit of technical analysis, read news, follow people on Twitter. Unlike Facebook, Twitter is one place to know instant world news at the correct time, real time basis.
Okay.
So yeah, nothing much difficult, because if you ask the rich people who make money out of stock market, they are not rich, not smart or intelligent enough, or they were the toppers or not. They just had passion, they had the right tools and
Mm-hmm.
psychology, and that's about it. And patience. Like I'll tell you one thing. Now the stock market is going down. I understand,
Correct.
but if you look back after 5 years, it would be more than that what it is. You just need a bit of patience.
Okay. So, like if somebody is as noob as I am, so from where should a person start? Like mutual funds is the place, or we should go via some courses, or because there are people teaching and there are people launching
Yes.
different courses and infinite materials and like a pool of confusion. So, yeah, from
Yes.
where can someone who is wanting to but not getting the right path or direction, where can a person start?
Well, good question. I think I've never took any course as such, any paid course as such,
Okay.
but few YouTube tutorials just about to understand the technical analysis. For example, I was curious in understanding what do you mean by technical analysis of stock market maybe. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I've gone through the few videos which was hardly some 5 to 6 total hours to understand the knowledge. It's almost like a book reading thing. Like you know the technique, the fundamentals, and you try to apply it a multiple times
Mm-hmm.
with small amount of money. For example, there are shares which are only cost one share is 100 rupees, and there are few shares which start with 5,000 rupees. Now start with 100 rupees so that and play with it. Play
Mm-hmm.
for as if so that play with my 1,000 rupees, which might be hardly 2% of your entire salary. So once you go about that and practice more and more, you will learn. Yes, I've never taken courses, so can't talk about that if it helps or
No
not.
issues. So, guys, a very important lesson. If you want to do something, there is infinite free materials already available. Try to use them to the fullest first, then go with some courses and paying extra amount or going to that extra level, because there are a lot of good materials, free good materials are already there existing, and people are learning from them, utilizing them to their purpose, for their purpose, and they are trying and earning money. So, okay, Bhaiya, apart from this, I also know that you are a bit of a fitness freak, and you have, been consistent with hitting the gym and everything. So what do you would like to say the people who are, currently working, or maybe freshers who are about to start working? How important is fitness, and why should a person keep following this their fitness regime or something like that? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not talking about the fitness part. The
huh.
thing is that, okay, there was a time when I used to take antidepressants, okay?
Okay.
And yeah, I did take antidepressant. There was a time and I feel depressed and used to talk to people and I felt, I was also, I would not say body shame. I was never body shame,
Mm-hmm.
but I was very lean, perhaps too thin and underweight, and it didn't affect me if people call me chotu or patla or lizard in the school level. It didn't affect me because I was confident with the way I look. But gradually, when I started seeing people from different regions because I travel a lot,
Mm-hmm.
then I realized that if I'm good or trying to be good in other areas, my work, career, or other life with friends, why don't I start working on myself? And you trust me, it actually helps in reducing depression and anxiety and stress because then you release all those things via getting this. The initial days will be difficult, and I'm not, see, we all have a corporate job. We are not gym freaks and we are not athletes. So we cannot go 7 days a week or even 5 days a week.
Right.
Sometimes you go only 3 to 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
But that depends on you. Now, it shouldn't be only 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what happens initially, you just go and maybe walk or maybe do the treadmill or pick up some small 5 weights. Now I'm able to carry 15 weights. Now I'm able to do clean push-ups of 25 to 30. But there was a time I hardly used to do 5. Again, with the stock market thing, if you can relate, it's just a patience and building up day by day on your practice.
Right. Okay, so I think this also helps with your work and your daily tasks. Like, it improves the mental clarity and your way of
Yeah.
taking stress. It improves that a lot. So it actually, guys, following a fitness regime actually helps you with your corporate job and in your personal lives as well. This is what we can conclude. So I would say the next question will be, like, these days there are lots of firings going on. We daily hear abhi to Google and Microsoft has also released lots of people. So what do you think? Deloitte is in a position of releasing people, or the the employees in Deloitte is safe? And if Deloitte is, an employee friendly organization. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I'll start with countries. So I'm currently working in India. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just Deloitte, but when I'm seeing other companies as well,
Mm-hmm.
most of the firings or let goes or layoffs, you might say, are taking place rather in foreign countries, where in USA or in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
mostly in USA. So I've not seen that level of layoff in India in any company as such.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Byju's was an exceptional one
Mm-hmm.
because but that was an exception one. People were knowing about that, and
Mm-hmm.
also the exception was about the Twitter. So because and that's also an exception because nobody buys a company like that, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So that's an exception one. Well, to be honest, inside Deloitte, I have no information about that. I can't comment on it.
Okay.
But as of now, in my LinkedIn, I'm not seeing any layoff messages so much unlike what's happening in USA. So maybe the recession has hit USA. It has not impacted India across any field, technical, non-technical, or any other job. But let's see how this year ends.
Okay. Another question I would like to ask is generally in the corporate, especially in Indian corporates, there is a habit of switching. Like, you switch
Correct.
jobs to increase your salary and your position and everything. So, according to you, how many years should a person switch? And is switching really that helpful? Or if someone stays within the organization for a long time, is that helpful? What are your point of views on that?
Yes, good question, because it's actually related to the first question. So what happened is that when I was checking the various profiles which were getting let go, unlike in Amazon, we're having some 2, 3 years, 4 years experience. Most of the laid off people were having less than 1 years of experience in that particular firm.
Okay.
So now people were knowing that recession was going to happen in 2022 or 2023. Despite that, they had a switch. Now, what will the companies do in general? Especially even now, if people are switching right now to another company, I would suggest one should switch in any company and to 2023 unless it's affecting its mental health. His or her mental health, then don't go for money or job opportunity as of now for the entire 2023, because the way sometimes the companies see, okay, this person has joined within 6 months or 1 year, so that person might be let go compared to someone who has been in another firm for 2 years or 3 years. That's a common thing, and that not only work, that happens in anywhere. Like if, for example, in clubs and parties and close group, you will always let go of the person who has just joined 2 months before compared to a friend who is with you for last 4-5 years.
Right.
Common cycle. So don't switch at this point, because you asked the question about switching.
Yeah.
But then again, because the recession will not be there forever, right?
Correct.
So there is a saying that switch only when you do not like the job, you do not have a growth opportunity, or the pay is very low. No, or rather, and because what happens if the pay is or if the pay is very low but you have a learning opportunity, then do not switch. Especially if you're in 30 years, because what happens if you can learn initially for a fresher the first 2 years or 3 years, build a foundation, then you can use that foundation for getting better opportunities.
Correct.
Or you are not getting opportunity as such, but the pay is good. You might be that. Now the answer to that question is that, are you a fresher or are you having 6-7 years of experience? Because when you're having a 6 years of experience, the kind of learning is required might not be there. Computer salary. At that time, you're having 6-7 years of experience, then you might be going for only money. Or money is the very of primary importance, because you have certain responsibility that happens.
Right.
There you are okay with basic learning and basic opportunities. But in the initial years, I understand pay is important because EMIs to pay, you have different loans, and sometimes you have to send money to the home. But if this learning is very solid, stick to that company for 2 years.
Okay. And for the current time, sorry?
It depends on whether are you a fresher or an experienced person.
Right. And for the current time, it's more suggested more that one should stay in the organization and not take that risk, because it puts you into an uncertain position, we can say.
Correct.
Okay. This is probably the last question I'll be asking to you. So yeah, as I was saying, what is the one advice that you would like to give people, especially to freshers who are about to enter their corporate life, and they are not really knowing anything about this, and because the times are uncertain, they need more of a guidance. So it would be helpful if someone as senior as you could guide them.
Yes, to be honest, it applies not
not only in this year of recession, but always have a brand of yourself, and how to develop the brand of yourself to have your own values, like having a strong work ethics, come to office in time. I'm not asking you to stay office late, but when the meetings are at 11 a.m. starting, try to come at office at 15 minutes before.
Right.
So being punctual, because you need to be known in the organization as someone, maybe that person is not good in technical skills. Maybe that person is not good at non-technical skills, but you know that he is a he or she is a dependable person. He or she has strong work ethics. He or
Right.
she is responsive and punctual as such.
Mm-hmm.
And you also need to have a proper communication. I'm not saying you have to be very fluent in English as such, but at least able to articulate points in the right way to tell your senior managers or senior people who are in the team. But it's all about branding of yourself. You should be known as someone. I'm not saying you have to be a hardworking person. No, of course, hard work is important. That nobody needs to know. You are you. It's almost like someone says that in order to cut the trees, you need to sharpen the blade. Nobody needs to know how long have you sharpened the blade. But when you are being called, you are able to cut the tree. So you have to depend. It's all about values.
Mm-hmm.
All about that.
So people should take care about the small, minute things that will go and that will take them to a long way ahead.
It's
Right.
all. It's all. It's about how you're perceived in the industry.
Okay. So that was an amazing interview that we just had with you. Okay, and I would like to ask before closing this interview if there is anyone from our audience who wants to connect with you. So if you could just help them, where are you available and where can you guide our audience? So,
Well, I would say that I'm always reachable to LinkedIn, so I can share my LinkedIn details with you, like my profile, Tauseef Rasul. You can text me there. So that's one way you can reach out to me and I can help you. So if you text me on WhatsApp, I might not be knowing who are you as such, so I'm not
right.
be able to. But LinkedIn, surely I can help you.
Okay. So, guys, as you can see, we have got his LinkedIn ID. I will definitely post it somewhere on the screen so that you can go and personally get in touch with Tauseef Bhaiya. He's an excellent mentor. I have been personally been connected to him since a long time, and there are many sides to him. So anywhere, in any field, because we have discussed a lot of things in this interview, so anywhere, if you want a little bit of guidance, support, motivation, whatever, you can connect with him over LinkedIn. I'll definitely post the link on the screen as well as in the description box. Okay, Tauseef, thank you so much for this amazing round of interview, and hope that you
Yes,
stay
thank you
well.
for getting me.
And yeah, all the best for your future, and we'll surely be connected.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
So that was Tauseef Rasul, and that was all about his life story. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and put your comments down. I will put the LinkedIn ID of Tauseef Bhaiya in the description box below and on the screen somewhere so that you guys can go and connect with him one-to-one. Also, if there is anything that you want help with and you want to connect with me, then you can come over to topmate.io. The link is on the screen as well as in the description box. So what are you guys waiting for? Just come, connect, and get all your doubts resolved. I'll come again tomorrow with another new video. Till then, stay tuned to CareerQ. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.